All right, I'm not sure if you all know, but this week is spring break, for my son's school at least. This is my oldest son's first year in kindergarten, and I guess we didn't realize how many days off he would have with all the breaks, holidays, parent-teacher conferences, and things like that. I also didn't realize it was spring break when I agreed to speak this morning. But not that I'd rather be on a beach somewhere rather than with all of you, but our family is headed on a mini vacation right after this, so this is kind of like my last final exam before the break. So let's get to it. The truth is that I've been on a personal spring break for about 2 months. For those of you who don't know, I recently stepped away from a long career in banking to pursue some personal projects I've been dreaming about for a while. One of the projects I've been working on is myself. I'm working on refining my strengths and abilities to best determine a life path that fits in my sweet spot and also puts me in a position where I can best help others. Fortunately, at about the same time I decided to leave my bank, I attended a conference sponsored by the financial planning office I'm affiliated with, e4e Consultants Group. One of the books that they handed out during the conference is called Unique Ability 2.0, which is the topic I want to talk about today. So what is it? Let me start with an example about basketball. Basketball players are uniquely qualified to play the game. First of all, the average height in the NBA is 6'7". That is the average. By contrast, the average height for an American man is 5'9.5". Suffice to say, most men start at a disadvantage for playing professional basketball. But that's just the beginning. On top of the physicality, there are all the other attributes that it takes to perform at an elite level. Basketball players must not only be in tremendous physical condition, they must also be extremely talented at the game, practice like crazy, and have the passion to play hard. It takes a uniquely qualified person to be a professional basketball player. But just having the physical stature with the ability to play does not mean a player will be successful. Why? Because basketball is a team sport. Not only does every player need to be excellent at playing basketball, they must also know their role. Not everyone can score, not everyone can be a superstar. There have to be players willing to pass, defend, block, call plays, as well as shoot. The best teams have players who know their specialties well and make decisions that benefit the team the most. Unique ability plus teamwork equals success. So this is the way that e4e Consultants Group is organized. We have financial consultants, investment advisors, and other financial professionals in our office, but we also maintain an integrated resource network of financial professionals who work together on behalf of a customer to provide a comprehensive plan for just about anything concerning money. By working together with a collection of resources, our office can provide anyone a myriad of services at a level that is typically only offered to wealthy clients. I believe e4e operates like this on occasion. A customer comes to a partner for help, and that partner has a pool of resources to expose that customer to. By working together with a collection of trusted resources, you increase the value you can provide to your client. So how do you find your unique ability? First, I recommend reading the book and going through the exercises. If you're familiar with either the Colby A or Strengths Finder, both assessments are encouraged in the book. There's also an opportunity to reach out to the people who know you the best to ask them what they think your unique ability is. My favorite example of how to discover your unique ability is something my friend Mark Benson always asks clients who are considering retirement. He tries to gauge how much someone wants to retire by asking them whether they would continue their job if they could eliminate all the responsibilities they dislike. A lot of people claim that they would continue to work if it meant only doing the good stuff. So he challenges them to take a few months and write down everything they dislike. He says, then you'll have the job description of the next person you need to hire. Unique ability teamwork is all about finding the role you are best suited for and tapping into a team with complementary skills. Or as another colleague of mine says, do what you do best and delegate the rest. Any questions? John?
Who wrote that book, The Unique?
It's within the Dan Sullivan group of advisors. Let's see, I've got the...
I couldn't read it from here.
Catherine Nomura is the title author.
I think strategiccoach.com.
Yeah, strategic coach. Yes.
So how are you doing on this journey?
I'm getting there.
Tell us more.
It's been fun. I mean, I've spent the last couple of months just kind of doing what I want to do and reaching out to people to make projects happen. You know, I had been sitting in a office for years, kind of confined by the walls that you make for yourself, and I had been coming up with these business ideas and projects and thought every one of them could be a billion-dollar idea. And so the process that I'm going through is putting the idea out there through my website, which is really just an organizational platform for me, and then I go out and find collaborators to see if I can get it done. So it's and some of them are moving forward, and some of them are terrible, but it's fun. I mean, some of them look like they might happen.
Well, congratulations, and how can we support you? What can we do to support you?
I don't know. Pay attention to the website, I guess, and
And the website is,
Yeah, what's the
it's
website?
top50stl.com. Top50stl.
is it 50 F, spelled out?
50, yes. And radio show starts in April. I'm still figuring that out as I go too. That'll be on at 10 a.m. on Saturdays.
Okay, you talked about this before, but did you talk about this today?
No.
Did I miss it? Do you have enough time to share what it is for people here?
About top 50?
Yeah.
So top 50. So I challenged myself originally to launch a business every week for a year. And there's 52 weeks in a year. 50 sounded like a more rounded off number, and I get 2 weeks off when I do that. So I have the platform of launching a business concept every week for 50 weeks. And within my website, I have an economic development idea for St. Louis, a new business idea, as well as a featured book, restaurant, person, charity, and a quote. And then at the same time that I was launching this concept, all the negative news that goes on in St. Louis with, you know, Ferguson and Mizzou and just murders all the time and everything, it just seems like they drive negativity into our region all the time. So I parlayed the top 50 idea into highlighting the top 50 positive stories about St. Louis. So it's kind of my way of balancing the scales with what's going on in St. Louis. Dale?
Yeah, Brian, do you have any suggestions for us of when you're developing a team, things that you look for that you think are essential to a highly functional team?
For me, what I like to do is get in a group and spend a couple hours together and put as many roles and actionable items up on a screen or up on a dry erase board, and then see who wants to do certain things. It seems people are naturally suited towards their strengths. And if you get too many people wanting to do the same thing, then you kind of lose that complementary aspect to a good team. So just last week, I was in a room with 3 people who really like big ideas and coming up with the concept, and we all kind of wanted to do the same thing. So it wasn't necessarily a good team. It was a productive meeting, but for moving forward, it's always better to have people that are gonna, we need some detailed people, which I am not. So that'd be my suggestion. Anybody else? No.
Brian, you kind of saw the handwriting on the wall, I guess, maybe a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you decided, unlike a lot of us, to go out and find out what's going on in the marketplace. You joined e4e, you're part of e3. What prompted that, and what kind of a role has that played in terms of making this transition easier for you?
For me, I worked for my father for 13 years, and the best way to say is we have philosophical differences. My father is at the end of his career, and I am in the core of my career, and I'm looking to get going and move and do a lot of fun things, and not kind of sit within the foundation of our business. And every time that he and I kind of got together on business development and I wanted to go take on the world, he thought status quo sounds pretty good to me. So that's what prompted a lot of what I'm doing now. I think there's a big, bold world out there and a lot of neat things going on. And I think in St. Louis specifically, the entrepreneurial community is doing a lot of special things. They seem to be the only group that has been a draw for the St. Louis region in a long time, for decades. And so I wanted to jump into the entrepreneurial space, such as a group like Experts for Entrepreneurs. And so, Lori.
With your website and launching these 50, weekly business concepts, what is your end goal with that? Is it to help to get those ideas out there and get feedback on them so that you can take a couple of them and run, or is it to help spur ideas with other entrepreneurs out there? Or what are you hoping to get from that part of it?
Yes. So, I'm very malleable at this point. What I did was wanted to challenge myself to do it and get it into organizational format. And what I didn't put in the foundation was where it's going to lead. What's kind of happening is that I've got 5 or 6 ideas out of 50 or 100 that are naturally prioritizing themselves because they're valid and they're decent ideas and people are interested in them. So I'm pursuing those by getting the collaboration together. But I'm also learning a lot and connecting a lot. And in the meantime, I'm finding areas that I can help consult people and, back and forth. I've connected with people that have a skill set I don't have, and I can offer up what I know for what they know. And so it's been an interesting journey so far. It's only been a month and a half. Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel like your background in banking has complemented what you're doing today?
I've got a lot of financial, information stored up in my brain, so I can put the platform together for, getting towards a revenue base at some point. Understand how businesses operate because I've been a lender for a decade, and so I've had the opportunity to see a lot of different businesses and understand them from the back end. A lot of times when you go and see people on the front end, they tell you exactly what their business seems like it does. But from a banking perspective, you get to see what it actually does. So that part is very, very good to know. Yes, sir.
These aren't the words you use, but you describe this as kind of your own personal journey. So in the last month and a half, what is the one thing you've learned about yourself?
I like too many things. I've got a varying degree of interest in these projects, and they're not necessarily related, which interests me a lot. But focus is where I struggle the most, and so I'm trying to get my projects focused. I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun doing it, but that's kind of what I've learned the most about myself, is not to go too big. So, but that's all the time I have. Thank you guys very much.